Hi, my name is Chris Davis and I'm here to show you today how to make some tasty, fun margaritas. Margaritas are really easy to make if you have the right ingredients. I like to use the Jose Cuervo tequila mix and the Jose Cuervo Especial Gold Label. Now the only reason I choose these two is because with them both being made by Jose Cuervo, you have the consistency and the taste that you're really looking for. Now, it's a lot harder to make them if you don't have the right stuff out. So, the equipment that I use to make them, of course, I have my blender. It's a little bigger, but most people use a standard blender from any kitchen. I've got 2 measuring cups, one for mix and one for tequila. I've got a damp towel, a dry towel, and of course, you can't drink a margarita without having a glass to drink it out of. If you follow my easy steps, everybody's going to love your margaritas. Everybody's going to enjoy them. It's going to be a fun time for everybody. But before I get started, there's a few things I want you to stay away from. There's some things they're called ready-to-drink margaritas. They're not really what you want to use. They have, I don't know, Jose Cuervo, 1800 makes them. There's some called Skinny Girl Margarita Mix. They're all pre-made, ready-to-drink margaritas. The problem with them is if they have too much alcohol in them, you can't take that alcohol out. Whereas if you use something like this Jose Cuervo mix, you can add as much or as little tequila as you want. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when you make them is add your ice. To save a little bit of time and to avoid some noise, I'm using ice that I've already crushed. I use just over half a cup. The directions usually tell you half a cup, but to me it's just a little too thin if you do it that way. So you've got your half a cup of crushed ice. If you use whole blocked ice, it takes longer to blend. It's easier just to go ahead and crush your ice first. And then the next thing you're going to want to use is your tequila. For me, I prefer the Jose Cuervo Gold, and I always add an extra ounce. Most mixes are going to tell you 1.5 ounces per margarita. I like to go 2.5 ounces, that way I taste the actual tequila in my margarita. So I'll pour that on in here. And like I said, the good thing about these mixes is that you don't have to use what they tell you to use. You can do what you want to do. So if you don't like that much tequila, make it a little weaker. Or you can substitute something else, like a rum, and make it more like a margarita daiquiri, if you would like. And the next thing you're going to use is your margarita mix. Directions on most bottles will tell you 4.5 ounces, and I typically go by that. If I'm making a double batch, I might go 8.5 instead of 9 ounces if I want it thicker for everybody. But that's all up to your discretion. So I'll pour that on in here. Now for me, blending doesn't take very long with this big guy. But on a regular blender, it's probably going to take you about 45 seconds if you've already got crushed ice. For me, it only takes a few pushes of the button. And now we've got margaritas. Now of course, you're going to want the wet towel handy. Damp towel is always going to help you out. It keeps you from getting sticky messes. You wipe everything off. And it gives you something to set the top on before you get ready to pour. And you've still got your dry towel handy. You can wipe everything down, get it cleaned up nice and neat before you even get to pouring your drinks. And now luckily I've still got no mess here. But then when you get ready to pour your drink, make sure you pour evenly for each person. So like right now, I guess, I'll pour one for me, one for my wife. And I'm going to try to pour them about as even as possible. And if there's any left over, make sure you pour your spouse extra. Because nothing makes you look better than not being selfish. And now that you've got everything made, there's only one last thing to do. Just enjoy it. So now, I like to sum everything up for you. You start out, you got your Jose Cuervo mix is what I use. You got the Jose Cuervo Gold. You get 2 measuring cups, a damp towel, a dry towel, your cups, and a blender. Don't forget your ice, and enjoy.